26 hours and 30 minutes to go. India versus South Africa at the Kensington Oval in Barbados. Two teams, two levels of pain. One team is desperate to break an ICC title jinx for 11 years. The other team wants to win an ICC event after 26 years, having conquered the semi-final peak for the first time in the 21st century. Both teams are undefeated. India has won lesser games because one of them was a washout. South Africa have won 8.
But what will happen for the first time in the history of World T20 is that a team will go through the World T20 unbeaten.
And if you have to look at it, India were the last team to win an ICC event undefeated, the 2013 Champions Trophy. You look at South Africa, they have won the Under-19 World Cup undefeated when Aiden Markram led them to 2014.
And that was way back in 2014.
Yep, a decade ago in the UAE. Now, India versus South Africa, we have done videos on Sports Today where you look at it head-to-head, knockout stages, India hold a clear edge. But this is a World Cup that has defied convention in a lot of ways.
And I beg to differ. I don't think India hold the clear edge. I feel South Africa are favourites to win.
Okay, so the battle lines are drawn right here. Siddharth Gulati is backing South Africa to win the T20 World Cup and also clinch an ICC event for the first time since 1998.
And that was the ICC Knockout Trophy, which is now renamed to ICC Champions Trophy.
I say India are ending the jinx. June 29th will mostly be what November 19th could not. Because as a round unit, if you look at it, let's look at it. Why do you think South Africa hold the edge?
I think there are some clear reasons as to why I feel that South Africa might just be able to seal the deal over India. Number one is obviously South Africa have been in different situations in this T20 World Cup and they have come out on top on all these situations. They have won while batting first, won while batting second. Most of them have been nervy finishes, whereas in case of India, the best part is that obviously they are unbeaten. They have been pretty much formidable, or not even pretty much, they have been formidable. But the point here is that India have won most of, or in fact all of their matches while batting first, except the game against Ireland. So that's where I think I just want to say that yes, India have all the bases covered. They have batting till number 8. The all-rounders are doing well. Kuldeep Yadav is showing his form. Jasprit Bumrah is stepping up to the plate. But the point here is that India are still to be tested while batting second.
Okay, so you've had two matches where they chased. Ireland and the USA. In the USA,
in the USA
you
also
took it close. Okay, point number 1 ticked. This has been a very, very un-South Africa-like T20 World Cup because you look at versus Sri Lanka, it was a very close game. You look at against the Netherlands, it was a very close game. Bangladesh was a very close game. Nepal was a very close game. West Indies, very close game. South Africa, England, very close game. USA, they were pushed by 18 runs, they won, but that was also a very close game. Afghanistan semi-final was the only time where they put out a very clinical show.
And that's where I feel that in comparison to India, South Africa are better prepared or better equipped. And for India, yes, they have chased twice against USA and Ireland. But the point here is that India still haven't got a chance to chase against the more fancied oppositions.
Yeah, but again, why I will say all that doesn't matter. It is big game temperament.
Okay.
South Africa have given it their all to conquer the mountain of the semi-final. Now, mentally, the nerves and the pressure go to a different Everestian level in the final. Only thrice if you look at it in the history of South Africa cricket in ICC events ever since 1992. They have reached ICC finals thrice. I'm including even under 19 because it's an ICC event. In the senior one final, they have won one. Okay. You lost the under 19 World Cup to India in 2008. You won in 2014 against Pakistan. But if a team that can choke in the semi-final, what is the guarantee that the team won't choke in a spectacular way in a final?
And I have proper reasons for it. let's just go back to maybe 5-10 years and let's just look at South Africa's teams that have been so far. They were pretty much bigger than life or the larger than life players in AB de Villiers, Faf du Plessis, Hashim Amla. This is something that we discussed in one of our recent debates also. Now this is that very South African team which is not just reliant on one or two players to get the job done. You look at the tournament as a whole so far, almost all of their players except maybe a couple, Riza Hendricks or one, they have actually chipped in with those useful contributions. So there isn't that pressure just on the likes of David Miller, Henrik Klaassen, Kagiso Rabada, who have been their most senior most players so far to get the job done. That's where I feel South Africa really hold the edge, because it's just not about one person, it's about clicking as a whole. Well, there can be an argument that that's pretty much the same case with India, that Kohli is not performing, but then there are other 7 to 8 players who are performing. In case of South Africa, it has always been that there has been that big match pressure on those larger than life players. This time that's not the case, and maybe they are led by their lucky charm, Aiden Markram, who is yet to be undefeated in a World Cup match as a captain. He led them
16-0.
Yeah, 16-0 consecutively in 2014 Under-19 World Cup final. Then in 2023 he led them in two or three matches, and then now he has led South Africa to 8-0 so far. So that's where I feel that mentality would come in, and that's where I think South Africa hold the ace over India, because I think they have almost all bases covered. They have been tested on all fronts. With India, it's not about that, yes, obviously they haven't been tested on all the fronts. It's not their mistake also if they have either opted to bat it first or they've been asked to bat first. But that's where I feel South Africa tick most of the boxes, because they have been tested.
The number 16, you should never point that number to India, because somewhere down the line the streak will end. Just ask Australia. Two times in 2001, 2 times.
You're actually sounding like Paul Heyman now.
Not Paul Heyman.
The streak is going to be broken.
Yes, because 16 is that streak where India have achieved success twice against Australia.
Yeah.
Now Markram has won 16 games as the captain. One loss is expected. A bad day is expected even for India, but now that is a lottery system. Whoever gets it. Tough luck, move on. India now are much more determined, because Kohli and Rohit, for them, they are eyeing a Sangakkara Jayawardene moment of 2014.
Yes.
Sri Lanka, if you look at it, had lost in 4 finals. You look at 2007, you look at 2009, you look at 2011, you look at 2012. Losing the home final was the lowest point for Sri Lankan cricket.
True.
And Sangakkara and Jayawardene, God, we haven't won anything. So for our legacy to be defined, sure, Virat and Rohit don't need any legacy defining because they won ICC events.
Yes.
But for Kohli, not winning the T20 World Cup will be a thorn that will constantly prick at his heel, because he's won the ODI World Cup, he's won the Champions Trophy.
Yes.
For Rohit, he may not be able to win the ODI World Cup. He may not be, but we don't know with India.
Because by the time the 2027 World Cup comes,
he'll be 41.
He'll be 41, and let's see, if his fitness, he can maintain his fitness, he might just, lead India in that World Cup.
Exactly.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. So, Virat and Rohit are determined, especially Virat is determined to achieve the white ball Grand Slam.
But then what about the IPL experience of all these South African players? So let's just, look at very briefly South Africa's middle order. Henrik Klaassen, David Miller, they pretty much have a good record against Indian spinners. And, look at, and even if, India have variety in their spin department, the Miller, Klaassen, they are just proven, hitters of spin.
But I think, now with Klaassen not performing, I think that dents the South Africa middle order. And
maybe
Kuldeep, yes, he's had the better of Kuldeep in the past, but I think Kuldeep, with the form that he's in, 5.87 is his economy rate. He and Jasprit Bumrah are bowling a lot of dot balls, which ensures the pressure is built.
Yes.
I think if better batting units like England and Australia can falter, a South Africa batting unit this time has been very brittle.
But that's where I think the opportunity arises. South Africa's batting has been inconsistent so far, but that's where I think their best day might just be in the final.
Of all the pitches, where did South Africa encounter a good batting condition? They played in Arnasvale, They've played in Dallas. No, they didn't play in Dallas. They played in New York.
New York, Nassau County.
Nassau County. They've played in Taruba.
Against England, that scored 162, 163
Yes,
odd.
that was the best batting condition they had.
And that was also when they were batting with the new ball, because once the ball got old, it wasn't really easy to hit those shots.
South Africa's death overs has been fantastic. But India have the capability, mano a mano, they have got the capability to ensure that yes, they can tackle South Africa, and the pressure to win is on both. But I think for South Africa, it's slightly higher.
And even South Africa have the ability to counter India spinners.
Maybe.
Because of their strong middle order.
But because India won 4 ICC wins, that gives them the edge. South Africa won only 1. And that was way back in 26 years ago.
But in case of hunger, I can't really pinpoint that South Africa have more hunger than India to win the ICC trophy, because both are looking to break a jinx.
They will break a jinx. So which jinx will end? 26 years or 11 years? Or in the case of the T20 World Cup, 17 years I can handle, because 2007, since then you haven't won it. So India can join England and the West Indies are the other teams to win too. But if South Africa win, then it changes cricket in a big way. But I think India start as the favourites. Won't be odds-on favourites. It's, I think, 51-49 in favour of India. But for you, I think it's 51-49 in South Africa's favour.
Yes, I made a prediction in one of our previous discussions that if South Africa can manage to win the semi-final, then there is no stopping them. And I'm sticking to that.
Okay, so the battle lines are drawn. He's backing South Africa. I am backing India to end the jinx. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis from me and Sid Gulati. It's bye-bye. Building up to the mega final that's going to happen in 26 hours at Barbados.